game up for them. Just a matter of can they get there.
Can they get to the mid game relatively unscathed, Nigma Galaxy? We're going to find out. It is time for game 1 of this best of 3 series, and we're going to get taken through it by Moxie and Jenkins.
There's a lot of just excitement about this match. We've got Miracle playing his first DPC match here for this particular tour, and I'm surprised that they let him have the puck, honestly, considering what we saw the other day from the other tournament.
Hello, mic test, 1, 2, 3.
Which blade? Whenever that item's OP, puck tends to be considered quite OP, and looks like Nigma is taking a page out of the Western EU DPC support book, which is always smoke at level 1 and run mid. This is the classic right now. Looks like they might be going for a kill. No, they're going for a high ground ward and a kill. 2 for 1.
Yeah, they're leading with Kuro. And BZM, though, already in position, will just dodge away here. Easy peasy. So how do you feel, though, like, about this particular Slark pickup? Because I know that SVG was saying, you know, he feels like it's underutilized.
To go.
He also said about the anti-mage the other day when we were watching, too. So I'm interested on your thoughts on the matter.
How did the anti-mage game go? Did the anti-mage lose?
I believe they ended up, I think they won with an anti-mage.
Okay, all right, not bad. You know,
I saw the Dota yesterday.
I feel like the reason they picked it is some timing related reason, because if you look at the OG draft, they do have disables, and they do have instant disables on Void Spirit with that instant silence, but only late game. Only once he gets the Aghanim Scepter. So until then, there's not much to catch a Slark.
Razor stealing a lot of, a little bit of damage rather from mind control, just doing some harass and tiny bit of just trading back and forth here at those rune spots. So pretty calm otherwise, no first blood just yet. Everybody just kind of setting up and getting a feel for what each team is bringing here for this lightning stage.
Oh yeah, and Miracle, man, he owns his block, so he's gonna guaranteed get that level 2 first, which means he can put in the harass with his silence. Ooh, even gets a deny.
It must be very kind of spooky, right, to go up against Miracle in the mid lane. We were discussing like all the best mids that we've seen over the years, you know, the big ones among them, you know, No One, Smell, and just, you know, having this opportunity. Ooh, nice courier snipe though here from Misha. Gonna make mind controls lining a little bit more difficult.
It's very annoying to get your courier snipe these days, just because everybody's doing this trend of starting with very little regen and then constantly sending out tangos and salves on the courier. And so it basically means that you can't do that, but if you've already built items to do that, then these poor supports, you can just see 6 mangoes on top.
It's always, yeah. I feel like we've been seeing a 6 mango meta coming out for a lot of these guys, right? Man, usually it's the Snapfire that really, you know, dominates this lane, but Kuro's really giving him a run for his money here. Seeing that that taunt, but he's making a lot of space. Meets up with the courier, and Kuro's just rolling behind him.
Yeah, and Taiga only sent out a sentry, so that means that's a lot of damage he took and very little regen.
He's got all those mangoes.
He's got the mangoes.
He's got the mangoes. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, he's sending out some more too. Yeah. So to be clear, when I said that people are starting with no regen, I meant the cores. The support, they're going for a lot of regen to compensate for this.
More just poking away over in the mid lane. But still pretty much neck and neck in terms of CS coming out from the side of BZM and Miracle.
Yeah, dead even. I mean, I think this is generally considered to be a pretty dead even matchup, both in-game and in the lane. Both heroes have like ways of doing damage to each other, pushing the wave. Both heroes really like picking up a bottle, picking up those runes. Decent ways of getting to those runes as well.
This just keeps happening in the bottom lane. Man, GH takes a lot of damage there.
Oh, this is cool. I just realized that the Nigma Galaxy are running GH on the Bane, so we're going to hopefully see that Aghanim Scepter come out this game. I've been seeing that trending a lot in EU pubs as people running the 4 Bane, and I've even seen people completely rush the Aghanim Scepter, skipping the Ether Lens, but...
I don't know. I've heard a lot of talk just saying how bad it is to just straight up skip the anything else and just go for the Ags, but...
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think there's merit to going for just the Ags rush, specifically because of the cooldown reduction. It means you get way more grips out.
Right.
And sometimes those illusions can function like the Ether Lens, where they give you the positioning where you're not going to get the grip cancel. But I agree. I would personally, I like the Ether Lens a lot. It just gives you, like, you can be in some tree line a million miles away and just grab somebody, and there's no way for them to anticipate where the hell you are on Bane. And he is going for it. He's going for the mana boots at least.
Makes sense. Is one of those heroes that's very positioning dependent. You don't want to end up getting, you know, broken out of that channel. But a little bit of aggression coming out here from ILTW and Kuro. Taiga gets hexed up, and that's going to be the first blood going over to ILTW. And he's going to be happy about that. This is a hero that likes to snowball if he can.
Yeah, I like the way that Nigma Galaxy are playing this lane a lot. Kuroki is just trading with Taiga because he knows that he can set up stuns for his Slark to run over and go for kills. And then Slark versus Centaur in a solo matchup should be pretty nice for the Slark. So you may as well have the supports duke it out. Like, other times it's better for the support to sit there and hit the core because the core-to-core matchup isn't good. But the core-to-core matchup between Slark and Centaur is definitely, you know, Centaur's a big tanky guy that you can just keep hitting him, getting a bunch of stacks. And yeah, you can see that he's doing fine in this lane.
I like the rotation that came over to that mid lane too. We saw that there was a little scuffle trying to fight for some runes. And I feel like that's very necessary when you're up against something like Miracle, where you want to make sure that he doesn't get any more like sort of advantages, but can be a bit difficult because he is playing a puck, right? It's a very elusive hero, hard to lock down. So it feels more like a bravado sort of movement. But Misha making his own rotation here. They're going to get into position. They were, oh, nice play here. A little bit off the mark with the stomp, but the cookie follow-up and the stomp will ensure that they can kill Kuro. Oh, bottom lane, though. A lot of harass coming out from Mind Control and GH. They'll swap off with that Nightmare. It is a little scary for the Razor. Miracle just trying to play around here. Oh, BZM! He finds a kill on the puck.
All right. I mean, that's not... It usually goes the other way around in this matchup, to be honest.
I think the Fairy Fire really came into play. Kuro going to try to punish this, but I think maybe he just didn't see the extra regen that he had on him at the time, thinking he can outplay it.
Yeah, also the... just the trend of not skilling phase shift so that you have the extra silence duration and the ability to push out waves. You know, in a scenario like that, you could avoid the Void Spirit ult damage, but if you did have the phase shift, of course, it's just, you know, this is the greedier style of puck that we're seeing basically everybody do.
Nice link up here from Yuragi. He's going to try to put out the damage over to GH, but he has the Brain Stab. It's a little bit more damage. I'm going to go for that Fairy Fire. Just try to stay alive a little bit longer as Mind Control's running down Yuragi. It's not going to be enough, though. The Razor won't be able to walk away. They're trying to cancel out the salve on GH, a little bit off the mark here. That's
just great calculations from OG, knowing that they are going to win the damage battle in that case. You know, you might think, oh, of course it's Razor. Like, if you sit there and right-click a hero that doesn't have the absolute highest armor, like, you're going to do enough damage. But, like, Doom Scorched Earth, man, that's nothing to, like, mess with. That ability does a lot of damage. I've seen that ability kill Razors time and time again. And he has decent armor now too, actually. 5 base armor.
A prize.
And Mar just full hood already.
Do you think he's going to go for something a little bit more traditional, right? Because we've talked about this before. Amar likes to be more of a position 1 in the 3 place, so to speak. Like, he goes for things that are a little bit, oh, anticipation here. Still mini little stun, but BZM hunting on the side.
I think the answer to your question is no.
What are we going to see then? Tell me. Are we going to see the Satanic that he loves building?
Maybe. I would be more inclined to think that he's going to get Heart and the Shard, because I think that's just generally how you play Centaur as more of a core type hero. And the thing is, Amar builds like this, but he also plays the heroes that can build like this, right? And so Centaur is just one of those.
Ooh, the follow-up stuns the slow over onto ILTW. Gonna just go find Sanctuary behind his tower. Gets delivered some salves here, and he'll be fine. But that was a lot of chain reactions going on all at once.
Catapult is dead. If you're Nigma, you're pretty happy with that. Neither team really has excellent pushing, so basically moves need to be made around the catapults, or towers aren't going to die unless you know, kill a bunch of enemies, which could happen, but it's unlikely. So now basically Nigma Galaxy up here, they're like, all right, we're chilling. We can farm.
Other lane's a little bit quieter, you know. Won't say it's a snooze fest, even though there's that nightmare. But GH realizing that he can simply just teleport away until Misha shows up, though, with that disruption. So a good rotation will ensure that Yuragi finds the kill. But Miracle with the double damage makes his rotation, uses the Dream Coil. They want this Razor. They'll get the Doom off. Now Mind Control chasing after Razor. They've got a lot of damage, though. It's a double kill still for Yuragi. They go back in over to Miracle. They pop him thanks to BZM making that rotation. And they'll wait patiently here.
He's fine.
He's absolutely fine. Look at Misha. He's like, I got you, bro. I got you if you need this.
Oh, he's salving.
But no, he's a caring nanny support, and he will give a salve out.
My path leads to
Yeah, at first I thought that was a great rotation from Miracle, but the way OG played that in the little engagement that we saw there was just really nice. Canceling the TP at first, and then Yuragi running to the left towards his team instead of towards his tower means that the puck orb doesn't hit him. And yeah, that's something. It's hard to like make that distinction. Do you run to the safety of your tower, or do you run to the safety of your teammates? You know, which is better? It's actually tough to say. That was the right call.
Right, BZM, they were hunting for Misha, and Misha debates them. So it looks like they should be a kill for LTW. BZM doesn't have a whole lot of mana though, so he's gonna make his way back over to the middle lane where Taiga has been taking some of that experience, but LTW realizing that BZM might be in a bit of a predicament, turn their attention now over to Taiga. And Miracle will continue to just push out here in this middle lane.
the Dire might want to mine the top tower.
So this is a pretty important window here.
Towers coming apart.
Okay, I was gonna say the 10-minute rune is spawning, and we also have catapults coming out, so I expect to see some moves towards these safe lane tier 1 towers, likely, possibly the mid towers, more than likely the safe lane tier 1 towers, though.
Dire's top tower.
Yeah, here we go.
Set up again over on Yuragi. They have the finger, and just a little hit here from GH will ensure that they collect. An action-packed game, though, at this point. Another taunt in here from BZM. Just going to harass a little bit over onto Miracle.
BZM already has his boots of travel. He is huge.
I mean, he's 3-0 right now. He's been making all the right moves, the right rotations, whereas it feels like Nigma Galaxy, they struggled a little bit more, right? They used that Doom, they didn't get a kill, they had the rotation from Miracle, and they still weren't able to take out Razor.
I honestly feel like the rotation was good. It's just like the execution from OG within the rotation was just better in that case. But he rotated with a double damage rune. It was to the enemy safe lane. Yeah, like it really checks all of the boxes. It was a counter rotation off of his support dying. Like it really does check all the boxes for what is a good rotation you'd see in pro Dota.
So it just comes down to the individual skill at that point?
In this case, yeah, for sure. In this case, yeah, OG played exceptionally well so far within these rotations. Mids are kind of just chilling mid. You know, the funny thing is both Puck and Void Spirit have evolved as heroes where they're like more mid-game timing heroes. They can rotate, they do it more defensively, but Void Spirit, once he gets to the Sanjin Kaya plus his Aghanim Scepter, he's this like late-game damage-dealing stunner, and then Puck gets the Witchblade. You're like actually a damage...
You know, get those items that are necessary, but like, you know, BZM, like you said, is going to be going for the Ag Scepter. Sanjin Kaya is going to become a huge presence, because the other thing too is if they try, like we talked about it, neither team has great tower pushing potential, right?
They don't, no.
So
play for the late game, it's gonna go there.
Yeah, well, we'll get there eventually, but you know, the idea of being able to be this defensive, you know, if they try to make moves, if they try to, you know, get a little too cheeky, the fact that you're able to have this rotation and punish it so easily makes it very high stakes in a sense that you can't have any margins of error. Especially on, you know, you look at what ILTW is playing, you know, a Slark is, I don't want to say he's a fragile hero in some aspects, but if he starts to get behind, he just feels really bad.
He's pretty fragile. Like if you do that, he does have his ult, so it should be fine. But if there's any follow-up disable for that, it does feel like the hero just folds.
Ooh, those are some nice stacks.
Not the fastest hero taking them though, which is unfortunate. Maybe his big old voice hero will come over and help him. Or Taiga. Oh, don't mind me, just walking by.
I'm not here to take any of this experience.
Oh, don't worry about it. Convenient experience, but I was just, you know, just defending you, chilling in the area, of course.
But it's better to take some stacks slowly than not to take stacks at all. So this is going to be a nice cash infusion there for Razor.
It is
working towards that BKB. And this entire time, I believe, has Amar had to leave this lane?
No, and you know, I think that's I think this is the correct move for him. I mean, he's the only one that has any sort of power push with the return. He's okay. I mean, he doesn't have a Vanguard, so he doesn't really want to tank that many tower shots. They're going for another stack over here, too.
A little bit of an invasion.
Radiant's bottom
they're just
tower
going
is
to back
pretty
away. They
sad
don't
right
want to
now.
take this fight. Miracle has a haste rune. It doesn't behoove them to do this.
Misha's been putting in work with the stacking. My goodness. This is a full triangle stack. We saw like a 5 stack there that they were just trying to take. I mean, SD's one of the better heroes for doing that.
Lose together, win together, slay together, slay
Still.
together, slay together.
The one thing Nigma Galaxy has going for them going into that late game is that you're never going to outfarm a Doom. Like, you can see he's top net worth on his team, and very quickly he will be top net worth in the game if you let him max out his Devour and start Midasing and Midasing and Midasing, and all of a sudden he's this problem.
And as he just said, we start talking about a mind control. We'll drop the Doom to follow from Amar, though, showing off the Blink Dagger, gets double edge off, gets some long range Sapphire Kisses. That's a dead Doom who's not going to be getting any extra gold right now, but realizing this, Yuragi putting off a little bit of damage on Kuro. Not going to be able to hold him into place, but look at the way that OG is collapsing over onto this fight. Yuragi's pretty fast here, chasing after Kuro, backs off because Miracle and GH are nearby. And there's some more pincering action coming in. Plasma Field, ILTW. Attempting to run a bar. They'll nearby finger kill, though. They'll be able to take out Razor. The hot forward trying a little bit off the mark. They'll take a nap. Thanks to the Nightmare. The step forward, though. The Hex coming out very, very quickly. Amar following up, though. Should be able to get the kill on Miracle. The step forward, though. Pop Kuroki. And now they'll wait patiently. Amar dipping in and out. Mind control. Rejoining this fight. He did die at the very beginning of some of this, and he's still just come right back in again. As it looks like now, Nigma, they'll back off. Cookie Hop, though, trying to grab GH. It's just barely going to land on the bottom. And they'll find a cleanup. As ILTW, though, they really want Amar, but they just can't seem to get off enough damage. They can't seem to be survivable enough. As they will push back the Slark and OG. It's a long engagement. We lost a lot of heroes during that fight, but they're already back up again and ready to go back in.
OG to me right now, with how they're playing in the fights, they look like peak Secret at TI this year. Where
high praise right there.
Well, seriously, I mean that's just the first thing that I think about, because when they run up the hill and then they saw the Nigma Galaxy turned around and they were going to disengage, everybody on OG turned at the exact same time to go back in, and it's like, just to me, it looks like they're all being controlled by the same person, which is crazy in a game like Dota, where, like, obviously, you know, you can't do that. And even resembling that is very difficult, but it just, you know that they're just instinctually all on the same page. It's like basically not even a call at that point because it's too quick. They just know that they all want to go back in, and that's very hard to team fight against. Like, they're 100% playing as a unit.
How much of that do you think is also thanks to the fact that they do have a coach, right? They've got Shvash, who's been working with them. Is that also like a coaching mentality of like saying, you know, looking at these replays and saying, get back in there, you know, have each other's backs? Or
yeah, that would always help. It's more like that they would be on the same page and have the same ideas, so that they know when to go back in together without even communicating it. Or on the flip side, you can have somebody who's more interested in like the language side of things. You know, if you have like Seb as a coach or something like that, where you have a certain word that you use to like let's re-engage, like some way of being on the same page that's not just like, all right, they backed off, let's go back in.
not just divide.
Divide's a good word. That's
a good word. It is an excellent word. Everybody knows what I mean when I say that.
Yeah, there's some really good like Russian lingo for Dota. Like you hear often small back, big back, which means like small back means you back off, but
not a hard committal.
Not a hard committal to backing where you TP out. And then a big back is like everybody TP, everybody's on their own.
Right.
If you die, you die. And it's like it communicates a lot in just 2 words. And so, for whatever reason, whatever they're using on OG, it doesn't surprise me, but they're on the same page.
That would be a good question.
I mean, it's like I mentioned, it's Seb that has been very public about his focus on language like this. So
look the way.
Radiant's mid tower.
BZM, man, imagine if he was a little bit more patient and ILTW saw this case, but he realized something was up. They had gone for a smoke play earlier, and Nigma could tell which way the wind was blowing, so to speak, because if you notice, they all grouped up around mid tower. They stayed out of sight. They saw the Razor going with the plasma field, and then they were able to dodge it. But we do have some big item timings, right? We've got the BKB pickup for this Razor, so he's able to stand and fight because the physical damage is still pretty light on the side of Nigma Galaxy.
Yeah, Mind Control's also got his BKB though, and ILTW also just picked up his Diffusal, so he's got that Echo Diffusal.
Yeah.
His build is on the more damage dealing side. Oh, he pops his ult.
Maybe he thought that, I mean, there were more people nearby. I can understand why they'd be a bit
now I think
careful, but they can re-engage now knowing that that's down.
Yeah, you definitely, if you're Nigma Galaxy, you want to chill a bit, or at least don't put your Slark in the front lines. They could put Mind Control in the front. I mean, he's got his full BKB completed.
I think when you have a puck though too, right? You want to just be able to poke back and forth.
Yeah, poking is. I mean, even Lions.
Like just jump forward here from Miracle trying to find the opening, but the stop on the back line from afar, landing, making sure that they cannot get the kill. GH will fall. Kuro also in trouble, and Mind Control, despite being so tanky, despite having that BKB, is not going to survive this engagement. Beautiful play coming out from the side of OG as they got the Doom off, they got the Dream Coil, but they weren't able to get the kill.
The problem is that the Doom, I think the usage of the Doom ability is really important in this game. I mean, oftentimes it's usually important, but in this game in particular, because he doomed a Razor who had already linked, already pressed his ult, and already BKB'd. So like, what are you stopping by dooming him? Whereas like, I think you could doom BZM and then you're legitimately stopping like potentially 2,000 or 3,000 magic damage across your entire team if you can get the doom off on him.
I think it's tough, like with the positioning though too, right?
Yeah,
like,
he's no blink. So the problem is the fight already starts. It already looks bad, and then he goes in and he's like trying to salvage it.
Got that stomp on the back end.
And the issue with doing this is that now there is this huge 2-minute window where OG has full control of the map because there's no Doom. And so they're super comfortable just invading here.
They see the courier too. Gonna just rip that down. Just some clarity, so could be worse. But there's definitely the pressure. The Slark is being hunted by OG. They have the wards to try to keep vision, but won't be able to grab him.
Yeah, he's in port position 5, so does not have that cast range from Ether Lens or anything. Otherwise, maybe he would have been able to get the grab there.
So I think you're still fine with just pushing him out of this area.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, oftentimes that's more value than a kill. With a Slark, obviously not, but...
Going back in, though. The Dream Coil, they've leashed up the snap over onto Amar. Counts 4 from ILTW, but the disruption buys a little bit more time here for BZM, so he can come right back up again. And he dishes out a lot of damage as they force out the shot. The stop that's coming out from Amar was beautiful, just holding them into place. Can they finish off ILTW? That was the question as they take out Amar. They're still hunting for ILTW. They'll find the kill. They'll get the kill on GH as well. As OG continue to just push them off of their buildings, out of their jungle.
Non-hero.
Non-hero damage.
Do that.
What?
I don't know how you ping. I've tried pinging that. It never works. That's his thing. He does that a lot. That's like his new way of BMing.
It is a new way of BMing, that's for sure.
Like,
I mean, if it's gonna be BM, right? OG is one of the...
You're the new guy in OG. You like have to invent new ways of BMing. You can't just like beat a tipper.
Taiga waiting patiently. They had the setup, but Miracle, absolutely fine. Working on the Ag Scepter.
So I remember casting one of Nigma Galaxy's first games in this DPC, and the fight looked okay. Very nice. Oh, that's a solo kill. He's actually dead.
Yep.
All right, that was off.
He bought out
right?
though. He bought out. He got the blink dagger right before he died.
That's a support copium right there. I bought out, guys. I bought out.
I at least have the. Whatever. You take what you can get. This is a hard game for these supports, right? Like we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, Blink Dagger on 5 Lion at 22 minutes when it's 17-7 is genuinely a very good timing. So I don't know where the heck Kuroki's been getting the farm. 33 last hits though, so he's actually not doing too bad. He's got more last hits than GH does.
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
Looks like GH, we've already got the Aether Lens online for him. He's working towards the Blink Dagger for even better positioning, because positioning has been very difficult in a lot of these fights with the way that everybody jumps in so rapidly, right? You've got to follow Miracle's puck. You've got to follow, you know, this Doom who's just leaping into everyone, so you need to be able to close the gap.
To me, the Blink is like, the hero that you probably need to grip is the FP.
Middle lane finger gets a nice kill on BZM, and they're gonna hunt after Misha. They use the BKB on mind control to slow him down a bit. Yuragi joining back in, gets the Doom up over on the racer, but he already has the link, like you said. So those long-range kisses, just going to push him back. A nice Fiend's Grip though, coming out from GH. Follow up with the disruption. He's able to blink away.
That's why he's getting the blink, so he gets the SD, so he doesn't.
Oh, the Dream Coil over on the back line. Fearful, he's gone just a little bit too far. Is he gonna be able to survive this? As they jump forward with the RPW, they want this kill on Racer. They'll find him. A Miracle also to fall. Nightmare being placed over on Taiga. A couple things with these Shadow Poison. Disruption from Misha. He's sitting so low himself on Amar. He's trying to just buy as much as they find him time with the stuff, trying to blink and distract them with his body. So he goes in, Cookie, hop forward over onto LTW. Do they have the damage to Scatterblast? Yes, they do. And they'll go in back for GH. Amar chasing after this poor Bane. The blink, the stomp, the hit. And they know Kuro's still here. Kuro, they get to position. They should have everything they need to slay a lion. And that's just a casual triple kill now for Taiga.
Stay together, stay together.
Did they just like 3v5? That was crazy. I mean, the positioning in the saves. Okay, it doesn't show the heroes at the top. I mean, look at the saves constantly coming out. I mean, I suppose the Nightmare lasted a little too long. The stun to follow up. They're just very tanky, which helps. They've got the tower aura. See how they're back in and then out? Like they're constantly just kind of baiting it.
The smiles coming out here from Misha. No, if you watch our camera too, the camera's trying to decide where do I look? Because there's so many things happening at once, and you're trying to follow, you know, what exactly is happening. Because, like you said, it is just back and forth, poking and prodding. Miracle, you know, he dove in deep, but the rest of the team wasn't quite there yet. As we get another split fight over here on the side, so it looks like they'll take out Kuroki, they'll lose Misha. It's a support trade. I think that's fine, but now they have to be careful. Because you can see the way that OG is collapsing. They'll go for the Stampede. Amar finding two. Can they lock them down? Can they get up enough damage fast enough? Though LCW having to be a bit careful. Miracle's already made his way out. And Yuragi using that refresher, chasing down, mind control, the silence, the pulse, the Dream Coil gets used, but they're fine just hanging out there and murdering your friends. Buyback from Misha. They're feeling powerful right now.
The Dire might
I suppose they've got the tier 1 mid alive, so it means that if he buys back, he can actually show up to the fight and they can take Roshan, because a 5v, now it's a 5v4. I definitely get that buyback now, because line's respawning, right? So now this makes it, instead of a 4v4, it's a 5v4. It costs a little bit of gold.
Centaur almost has completed Axe too, by the way.
Not seen a Centaur Axe in a while, but you can Ags and then run out of the punk coil. You're going to take no damage from the snap. You can Ag. Run over.
Oh dear. Is he going to survive this? They're quite in position. Oh, Martho going in the side just a little bit late here as they get the calls up, drive right back into our LCW. Crow, though, going in. No, it's not enough. The Slark just evaporated in the mid lane.
Yeah, the Soul Catcher's doing a ton of damage versus Slark in these fights. Just massive pure damage to a hero who has good stats, and also ground targeted. So even if he uses, you know, one of his two little invisibilities, he can still die to that.
They have a lot of ground targeted spells.
There's a lot of ground targeted
on the side of OG,
yeah.
Right?
That's one thing that I personally didn't think about so much during the draft.
The Dire went and fortified their structure.
Go for the Fiend's Grip here from GH. Miracle, but Taiga following up. The Dream Coil does get used. They've used that Essence Ring. A nice disruption from Misha. We'll save them a bit more time to step forward, though. Oh, no. GH. The rest of the side of Nigma standing nearby. But it doesn't look like they're looking to engage on this. They're split up on the side of OG. They're more than happy to let them waste some time down here on this radiant part of the jungle.
I think you have to go for plays like that, especially when the enemy team has an Aegis, because, you know, you're just like looking to stall. And I suppose with that in mind, if you're Nigma, you're like, oh, yeah, they all TB'd bot. Like, they're not pushing our tier 2 towers right now. We still have our outpost because they wasted time going to our Bane and our Puck. So unsuccessful kill, but it still is a little bit of space for Nigma Galaxy.
Yeah, that little bit of pressure to make them respond definitely opens up the map a little bit, but
not enough to save your tier 2 towers, though.
Unfortunately not.
Yuragi just didn't bother with bot. He just stayed up here.
Bottom towers seem better.
Bombed a bit. Now he gets a free tower when his team has
towers getting beat down.
Come back down.
He's got an Aegis. He's feeling very powerful for sure. And you look at the items that he's got. It's everything a Razor needs.
BKB refresher.
Yeah, it's boring, but it works. That's
literally it. Yeah.
You know, why fix what's not broken?
It is such an insane BKB refresher hero, though. Just the fact with... I know refreshing the ult has always been the thing.
Ooh, oh, the snap, the fight over on DPC. They get the silence. They try to drag him back. That right into it. They follow up, and that's a kill on Slark.
Lose together, win together.
That was some weird movement coming out during that. Like trying to dodge away, but
yeah, he was trying to outplay that.
Yeah.
And this gets back to the problem that we were talking about that I definitely didn't pay much attention to during the draft, or not enough attention to, and it's the fact that there's all this ground targeted stuff for the Slark. So it's like he has to juke and jive like that whenever he's in his ult because OG has so many ways of catching him while he's ulted. Like they have the plasma field, they have the Snapfire cookie, the Snapfire Q, which will stun him, the double silence from the Void Spirit, literally all of Void Spirit's abilities.
Yeah, it gives new meaning to that voice line, though. Wiggle, wiggle, little fishy. He's got to be wiggling this entire time.
He's got to wiggle a lot. Like, he's got to have it.
Oh, Miracle. They have the shard, and he just pops. That's so rough.
Mic test, 1, 2, 3.
Considering the fact that that's pretty much the only hero that's able to do that, right? Because Miracle has to be making these plays. He's the only hero that's like so elusive that can try to move around on this map, but...
Yeah, he's got to get the lanes out.
OG just waiting patiently and realizing like, oh, he's going to be coming here, and we're just going to regroup because you have, you know, this Void Spirit that's got the boost of travel. LTW just running with his face in here. Oh, the cookie actually landing on him. The stop from Amar, they're going to try to set up the nice nightmare. It's too much damage, though. They'll lose the Slark. BCM again. Oh, my word. The rest of Nigma Galaxy moving back. They don't have their Puck. They don't have their Slark. They have OG battering down their towers and just their buildings on their front door. How do they get into this? How do they save these buildings here, James? They just have to wait?
You have to stack this Rex. I think you probably played to defend the bot lane.
There's 2 towers still up the bot lane.
That's the only. I think that's the only reason. And OG's not even gonna risk it and go for top. Even though Miracle's dead, they just figure they'll probably be able to take it pretty easily at some other point. So, I mean, that fight was just like. Just cool from Taiga, like hitting the creep to, because that's not where the Slark fog was, right? Yeah. Slark he was still invis because of the, it like lingers for a bit, so he was still invis, but he was out of the fog, and so Taiga still like predicted that he would move out of the fog to dodge the cookie, and so he dodges into the cookie. It's just smart. It's just really smart. I don't know what else to say about it.
It's thinking several steps ahead.
It really is.
Which is very cool. Like if you're able to do that as a Dota player, or anyone, honestly, if you're able to do that in life, it's a very useful skill. But Nigma Galaxy now making their way down to the Radiant era. They smoked up out of their base. You have to be careful. They are showing Miracle, so they're hoping, you know, maybe they're going to get greedy. Maybe they'll see Miracle again, and they'll try to pounce on him. But the way that OG is moving as a group, and especially, okay, they go for their own smoke. They're going fishing. And I'm interested to see who they're going to catch first. Taiga. It's revealed they see Miracle. Miracle already. He's going to try to jump away. Has that blink. Jump over to the side to get the silence off. They're waiting patiently. Again, the rest of the team, though, waiting behind them. It's a 3-man frame for LTW jumping in, but the BKB coming out immediately from Yuragi. And we talked about this. Look at the ground damage that they can do right now. That's mind control. He's trying to teleport out. He's not going to be able to. LTW already dead. OG strolling after Miracle. They want this puck, but they just can't seem to get their hands on him. The They've already taken down quite a few BZM. He was hunting, he wanted it, but with this rotation, OG can put their attention onto this bottom tower and start ripping down these remaining outer buildings. But look at the way that they took that fight, and then they immediately sent people up to that top lane too.
Can't do nothing about dire structures.
This just seems hopeless for Nigma. Like, because I really like the smoke. Okay.
Oh, they knew they were waiting, and there goes Miracle.
These guys are feeling themselves right now. Like, this
you think?
This is like just killer instinct, man. Like,
it's so rapid. Like you said, it feels like they're anticipating every
they know what the
move
next
ahead
play
of time.
is. They know what the next play has to be. And like I said, I actually really like that smoke out from Nigma.
What's going on with all the mantles of intelligence?
Oh,
he's being sassy over here.
I think at the end of every game he buys mantles and he puts them in front of the enemy fountain. Pretty
That is next level BM.
I think he just bought one.
Dire just couldn't save that.
He's starting his collection.
Okay, dude. Jesus.
Oh, the reckoning's gonna come for that kid someday, and when it does,
he's asking for it.
He really is. He really is. And look at this. Look at this play again. Just that cookie.
Like, that's just badass. I don't know.
Very cool for sure.
They're just not instant disable for Slark. He's not supposed to get caught, but he's just getting outplayed. He's getting straight up outplayed.
Tigers, yeah, like you said, they're feeling themselves. They're feeling themselves.
I don't even know if he knew what direction the creep would go. He's just like, screw it. I'll just throw a cookie.
Because it just had the spawn.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
It just happened.
I don't think he had any idea that it was going to hit ILTW. He's just like, I'll throw it, and if it hits, like I hate to say it, but he was legitimately fishing for a kill there. And then he ended up getting an actual fish. He's got his mantles, I see.
He's got all of his mantles ready to hand them out. But Roche is up, so DOG gonna waltz right into the pit, and I'm not sure what Nigma can really do. In fact, they do a little bit of a fake play here. I guess, ending up on the high ground. Does it the blink dagger? They're waiting for them to come out. Oh, look at this, the high ground. BZM stepping forward, sees ILTW immediately. Can they blow the smart fast enough? That's the question. Looks like he's going to survive, but Kuro not looking so lucky. These campfire kisses come on in, finding mind control. They're just chasing them away. Miracle, just melts through Yuragi. They got the doom off on the Centaur, but Centaur doesn't care.
I mean, again, all of this is set up because they walk into the Roche pit, they intentionally get scanned, or maybe the scan was down, but you know that Roche is going to be the next objective, right?
Yes.
And so OG, they just say, okay, this is the likely point where Nigma has smoke, and they're going to come contest this last Roche. Let's just stand on the high ground and wait for them. Their read on everything has been absolutely on point this game.
I mean, you see the way that Taiga, went up to the ice spot and just sat there. There's that spray. Taiga finding the opening. The scatter blast up forward. They've already lost GH. Are they going to end up losing LTW2? They will. Down for 69 seconds. And they're just going to go right back into the base. Start ripping down these barracks. They're feeling very strong, very powerful. And there's not a whole heck of a lot that Nigma can do in this game now as Kuro over on the side gets off a cheeky little hit on 2, but it's a triple kill now for BZM. Faze buys back. Lion buys back. The support duos, they want to get back in there. They know that Miracle's going to be back up. They have the Doom. But OG...
Oh, there he goes. There's
the dropping.
There's the mantle. He almost got caught for that.
I think it would serve him right if he got caught.
It would.
Chápalo del cuello. Pa' la bolsa.
This kid.
That's a good meme. I mean, that's pretty funny.
The tips coming out. All right, back into the Roche pit this time around.
I mean,
get the feeling
they're gone. Where'd they go?
They're
deleted, I guess. When he deleted them.
That moment of listen here, you little. Alright. Do they even attempt this? Do they go anywhere near this pit? I feel like, yeah, there's the heart online. Got another Mantle of Intelligence over in Amar's backpack.
He anticipated that they would delete them, and that he's going to put another one there.
Yeah, the next level play.
Alright, he takes the shard. I feel the Mars shard would be cool. Yep, alright. He's got the heart. Yeah, he may as well. May as well at this point. He's going to 9,000 HP. Oh, they actually, the mantles are mid. They dropped the mantles again mid, so OG wanted to retrieve those. He's got them now, okay. So ILTW did put them mid, but he took them back. He's not going to get them back so easily.
I think they're waiting for the moment that, you know, they get the kill and they drop the mantles.
You should be able to steal stats from a mantle SR. But technically, there's 3 int on it, right?
The Dire might want to mine their
May as well, you know.
I guess. Not something I've ever really contemplated, to be quite honest with you.
Maybe you should.
Maybe I should, yeah. You know, OG making us think about the game in a lot more angles than we're used to.
Oh, yeah.
What a game, Dota 2. Again, they just keep throwing this Razor forward, and how do you approach this?
Not exactly the fastest.
Mind control's not even there. He's just like, well, don't know what we can do right now. It's a 28K lead at 39 minutes in.
Oh, that wave cut is slightly game-winning. You know, only get a delay about 10-20 seconds.
Hey, but it matters though in Dota.
It does. It could. Matters. It can matter. It can matter. It gives you options.
They're trying to get those items as well. Fresh round of neutrals. 37. Another Mantle of Intelligence. Man, this guy is keeping the Mantle of Intelligence worker in business at this point.
Yeah, he is.
You think they give him a deal? I think they're like, hey, you bought like 3 of these. We'll give you the next one free.
Yeah, that's definitely how it works at Walmart.
Not sure that's true. Oh, jeez. All right. Big VM. Smells blood in the water. And just immediately follows up on it. Okay, Mind Control just on gets the Doom. They follow up on Vex on Stick ahead as they jump over onto that line. Current just evaporating. Another save over again, but the jump forward, they get the kill on Mind Control. An absolute chaos. They want this kill. They use the Doom. They want to take out BCM. They'll finally find it. But Amar jumping forward, and they have that ground target and stuff, but they just don't have enough damage to finish off the Slark. BCM, though, he fought back. He wants to be a part of this miracle, hiding in the tree line, hoping that no one can find him. Yuragi looking for the opening, the cookie hop forward. They just cannot seem to find this puck. Still have the Aegis online. Miracle teleporting, trying to run away. Misha has a little... Oh, it's at the last second. Not going to be able to quite grab him as OG begins once again. Still have the Aegis, still have the refresher. And they just continue to click on these buildings.
Well, they stayed fourth the entire time, so... probably not enough time for Vayne to respawn. But if they start a fight, the supports might be alive. But the
it's hard they don't have... They don't have some of these major spells that they need, right? You need the Dream Coil, you need this Doom.
Yeah, and we saw the Doom reflected in the last fight. That's just kind of like an after effect of OG being so far ahead at this point. I think it's correct to Doom and then Doom yourself as long as you can get BCM. They did.
Okay, all right, Mind Control with EKB, the follow-up here from Puck. Again, they have the load as well. They'll drop the Dream Coil over onto the 2, onto the back lines. Tiger sitting a little bit low. They'll blink away at him. They'll get Tiger. Tiger flies back as Mind Control. Misha also for Amar, though, just going after here, and they'll chase after Miracle to find the opening. Misha comes up. It's over to Amar, though. He's so tanky. You can't take him down. Kuro trying to get the air spike off. They'll turn their attention over to ILTW. They'll chase after him. They want that little fish. They want to catch him in the net, but they'll turn around, find Kuro, chase down GM, gets a triple kill for Yuragi, and they just can't seem to get them off of this area. They drop the mantles. The GG gets called. OG mind readers this game.
Yeah, the laning phase in early game from Nigma.